coin belongs to the BSP New Design series, which was launched in 2000 as a replacement for earlier denominations. The introduction of the 10 Piso coin marked a major shift in Philippine currency because it replaced the 10 peso banknote that had been in circulation for decades. The goal was to extend the life of the denomination, since coins last much longer than paper money. The late 1990s, inflation in the Philippines had reduced the value of money. The 10 peso note, which had been commonly used for jeepney fares, school allowances, and groceries, was wearing out quickly. On average, paper bills lasted less than a year before being too worn for use. Coins, however, can last decades. Thus, the BSP decided to issue the 10 Piso as a bimetallic coin, making it more durable, secure, and practical. 2005 10 Piso coin was bimetallic, meaning it was made from two different metals. Andres Bonifacio, the father of the Katipunan, was a revolutionary leader who sparked the 1896 Philippine Revolution against Spanish colonial rule. By pairing Mabini and Bonifacio, the coin honored two contrasting but equally important figures, the strategist and the fighter. 10 Piso coin was the first Philippine coin to adopt a bimetallic design, which made it harder to counterfeit. Its unique golden ring and silver center stood out from all other denominations. This design was similar to other countries' high-value coins, like the €2 or the British £2, which also used bimetallic technology. The coin replaced the 10 peso note, which featured Mabini alone. Some Filipinos initially resisted the change, preferring paper money because it was lighter and easier to store. 2005 10 Piso coin was widely circulated. Collector's value, certain conditions and varieties. Coins with errors, misaligned strikes, double dies, missing details can fetch higher prices. Complete year sets of the bimetallic 10 Piso series are popular among Philippine numismatists. 20510 Piso coin represents everyday life in the mid-2000s. It was the go-to coin for transportation, vending machines, and daily allowance money for students. Its distinct look and heavy feel made it stand out among other coins. 20510 Piso coin remained in circulation until the BSP introduced the new generation currency coin series in 2018. The newer 10 Piso coin is smaller, single-colored, and features Apolinario Mabini only, not Bonifacio. 2005 bimetallic version remains a favorite among collectors because of its unique design and symbolic pairing of two revolutionary heroes. 2005 10 Piso coin stands as a marker of Philippine history in several ways. It commemorates two national heroes central to independence. It represents a modernization of Philippine currency with advanced anti-counterfeiting measures. It reflects the economic realities of the early 2000s, when inflation demanded durable coins for daily use. The Philippine 10 Piso coin of 2005 is more than just money. It is a cultural artifact that today we are diving into the fascinating history of the Philippine 10 Sentimo coin from 1972. This small yet historically significant coin carries with it decades of national identity, cultural symbolism, and economic change. Though modest in denomination, the 10 Sentimo of 1972 reflects a very important moment in the Philippines' journey as a nation, rebuilding and modernizing after independence, while at the same time embracing its cultural pride. Let us go deep into its story, and by the end, you will realize why this coin deserves more respect than its face value suggests. The 10 Sentimo coin of 1972 was part of the Ang Bagong Lipunan series, a program launched during the administration of Ferdinand Marcos. The phrase Ang Bagong Lipunan translates to the new society, representing a national vision of restructuring and rebuilding both socially and economically. Every coin in this series carried that inscription as a constant reminder of this political and cultural shift. Made primarily of copper nickel, the 197-10 Sentimo was designed to be durable, practical, and affordable to mint. Its composition symbolized resilience, a fitting reflection of a nation that had gone through colonization, war, and independence struggles. Unlike the larger denominations that featured more prominent figures, the 10 Sentimo represented the grassroots level of Filipino currency, the kind of coin that circulated in marketplaces, jeepney fairs, and small shops. On its obverse, the coin proudly bears the image of Francisco Baltazar, also known as Francisco Balagtas, the legendary Filipino poet. His inclusion on the coin honored the cultural and literary heritage of the Philippines. Balagtas' epic work Florantiat Laura has been celebrated as a cornerstone of Philippine literature, and by placing his likeness on a coin, The government was reminding every Filipino of their cultural depth and identity. The reverse of the 10 Sentimo, 1972, featured the coat of arms of the Republic of the Philippines, alongside the denomination and the year of issue. The national coat of arms reinforced sovereignty, unity, and independence, while also serving as a constant reminder of patriotism in everyday life. The year 1972 was a turning point in Philippine history. It was the year martial law was declared, which had profound political, social, and economic implications. This makes the coins minted during this year historically significant. They are not just money but also silent witnesses to a time of dramatic change and national transformation. The circulation of the 1972 10 Sentimo was widespread. It was a common coin that millions of Filipinos handled daily. Whether used to buy candies, newspapers, or small necessities, it was a part of everyday life. Its presence in the pockets of workers, students, and ordinary families meant it became deeply woven into Filipino society. The coin's small size belied its importance. At a time when inflation was slowly creeping in, even the smallest denominations still purchasing power. Children in particular associated the 10 Sentimo with simple joys, like buying sweets from sari-sari stores. Collectors today look at the 1972 10 Sentimo with great interest. Not only does it represent a historical era, but also it carries cultural symbolism through the figure of Francisco Baltazar. For numismatists, coins like these provide insights into what values and figures the nation celebrated during particular times. In terms of rarity, circulated pieces of the 1972 10 Sentimo are still relatively easy to find, but uncirculated or mint-condition coins are far more valuable. The wear and tear from decades of handling make pristine examples increasingly scarce, which in turn adds to their collectible appeal. The design of the 10 Sentimo also reflects the mid-20th century approach to coinage in the Philippines. Simple, practical, yet filled with meaning. Its artistic elements were carefully chosen to honor national heroes and uphold patriotism. Beyond its physical attributes, the coin carries emotional value. For many Filipinos who lived through the 1970s, holding a 1972 10 Sentimo coin today can bring back memories of childhood, family struggles, and simpler times. This emotional connection makes it far more than a piece of metal. The Ang Bagong Lipunan inscription has become a controversial part of its history. For some, it represents a time of discipline and national rebuilding, while for others it recalls the hardships of martial law. The coin, therefore, becomes a medium of reflection on history, where the interpretation depends on personal and collective memory. Globally, collectors outside the Philippines also see coins like the 1972 10 Sentimo because they represent transitional moments in world history, where newly independent nations were carving out their identities. For them, it's not just about the coin's value, but also about the story it tells. Over time, as inflation rendered small denominations nearly obsolete, the 10 Sentimo began to fade from everyday circulation. By the 2000s it was rarely used, replaced by higher value coins. This adds another layer of nostalgia. As the younger generation, today we are diving into the fascinating history of one of the smallest, yet historically rich coins in Philippine currency, the 10 Sentimo coin from 1970. Don't underestimate its size, because behind this little coin lies a story of heritage, culture, politics, and national identity. The 1970s marked a significant decade for the Philippines. Under President Ferdinand Marcos, the country was undergoing massive political and economic changes. Coins minted during this era reflect not just monetary value but also the national narrative that was being carefully shaped. The 10 Sentimo 1970 is a perfect example of this. The coin itself belongs to the Filipino Series, which was introduced in 1967. This series replaced the English series that had been circulating since the 1950s. The switch from English inscriptions to the Filipino language symbolized a growing sense of national pride and independence. On the obverse of the 1970 10 Sentimo, we see the figure of Apolinario Mabini, one of the most revered heroes of the Philippines, known as the brains of the revolution. Mabini's inclusion on the coin highlighted his role in shaping the country's fight for independence. His image was chosen to inspire patriotism and remind Filipinos of their revolutionary roots. The reverse of the coin featured the official seal of the Republic of the Philippines. This seal embodied sovereignty, unity, and governance, important themes in the years leading up to the declaration of martial law in 1972. The coin, therefore, was not just money, but also a subtle message of national identity. The material of the 10 Sentimo 1970 coin was brass, giving it a golden color that set it apart from other small denominations. It was small, lightweight, and practical for daily use, especially during a time when public transportation, street vendors, and small-scale trade flourished. Its diameter was around 17 millimeters, making it one of the smallest coins in circulation at the time. Many Filipinos remember carrying several of these coins in their pockets to buy candies, newspapers, or even a ride in a jeepney. But beyond its everyday utility, the coin had symbolic significance. By honoring Mabini, the government reinforced the idea that heroes of the past should guide the decisions of the present and the future. Collectors today value the 10 Sentimo 1970, not just for its monetary worth but for the historical context it represents. It tells the story of a nation, asserting its cultural identity through language and design. The 1970s also saw economic challenges, with inflation and rising costs. Coins like the 10 Sentimo gradually lost much of their purchasing power, yet they remained an essential part of the economy, because small change kept the circulation system alive. Over the years, these coins were used so frequently that many are now found in heavily worn conditions. Finding a 1970 10 cover the fascinating stories behind coins that many people overlook. Today, we are diving into the 1988 Philippine 10 Sentimo coin, a piece that might seem small in value but carries a rich history, deep symbolism, and connections to the country's evolving culture and economy. The 10 Sentimo coin is part of the Filipino currency system, where the peso is divided into 100 centavos or centimo. Even though the value of 10 Sentimo may not seem significant today, these coins have played a crucial role in everyday transactions, especially during a time when prices were much lower than they are now. The 1988 issue of the 10 Sentimo came at an interesting period in Philippine history. Just 2 years earlier, in 1986, the country had experienced the historic People Power Revolution, which brought down the regime of Ferdinand Marcos and restored democracy under President Corazon Aquino. The coin was minted during Aquino's presidency, a time when the country was reshaping its national identity. At the front of the 1988 10 Sentimo coin, you will find the portrait of Francisco Baltazar, also known as Francisco Balagtas, one of the greatest Filipino literary figures. He is celebrated as the Prince of Tagalog poets and the author of the epic Florandi at Laura, a masterpiece that reflects Filipino values, struggles, and aspirations. His presence on the coin connects literature and history with everyday life. The reverse side of the coin features the official seal of the Central Bank of the Philippines, known as Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. This emphasizes the authority of the institution responsible for monetary stability, reminding Filipinos of the importance of trust and control in the nation's financial system. The coin was made of copper nickel, giving it durability and a silvery appearance. Measuring 17 millimeters in diameter, it was small, lightweight, and practical for daily use. It may have been used to pay for jeepney fares, candies in sari-sari stores, or small household items, making it a part of everyday Filipino life in the late 1980s. Looking deeper into history, the 10 Sentimo coin represents the evolution of Philippine currency after independence. Earlier coins carried heavy Spanish and American influences, but by the time of the 1988 coin, the Philippines was proudly featuring its own national heroes, writers, and leaders. This was a powerful shift in asserting national identity. The presence of Balagtas on the coin also highlights the importance of language and culture at a time when globalization was influencing the country. Placing a Filipino writer on currency was a reminder of heritage, creativity, and resilience. The late 1980s were also a period of economic adjustment for the Philippines. After years of political turmoil, the Aquino government was working hard to stabilize the peso, control inflation, and encourage foreign investments. Small coins. Today, we will dive deep into the story of one of the most fascinating modern Philippine coins, the 5 Piso issued in 2016. At first glance, it might just look like another coin in your wallet, but behind its design, its circulation, and its symbolism lies a story that reflects the nation's heritage, leadership, and the transformation of the Philippine currency system. The 5 Piso coin of 2016 belongs to the new generation currency coin series, which was introduced by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas BSP is part of a modernization effort. This was a time when the Philippines was updating its banknotes and coins to make them more durable, secure, and aligned with the country's rich culture. The 2016 issue was one of the first steps in that ambitious reform. Unlike the older 5 Piso coins, which bore images of national heroes such as Emilio Aguinaldo or Andres Bonifacio, the 2016 version carried the portrait of Andres Bonifacio, the father of the Philippine Revolution, on its obverse. Bonifacio symbolized courage, determination, and the will to fight for independence, and his placement on the coin was both an honor and a reminder of the nation's struggles and triumphs. The 2016 coin was struck in nickel-plated steel, giving it a silvery appearance. This change in material was intentional, as the BSP aimed to create coins that were more resistant to corrosion, cost-effective to produce, and long-lasting in daily use. The weight and size were carefully designed to be convenient while still distinguishing the 5 Piso from smaller denominations. On the reverse side of the coin, one could see the BSP seal, which represented the central bank's role in protecting the financial system of the nation. This symbol stood as a reminder that coins were not just pieces of metal, but official instruments of economic trust backed by the authority of the Republic of the Philippines. The year 2016 was also historically significant because it marked a transition period in Philippine politics. A new leadership had taken office, and the nation was entering another chapter of reforms. The release of this coin coincided with a climate of change, making it a symbol of modernization, not only in currency but also in governance. What makes the 5 Piso 2016 coin especially fascinating is how it reflects the country's heritage while also sparking debates among the public. Many Filipinos noted that the new design looked too similar to other denominations, causing confusion, yet others admired its clean, modern look and the bold placement of Bonifacio, finally giving him a rightful place in the nation's daily currency. Collectors quickly took note of the 2016 issue, since it was the first year of the new generation currency coin series. Pieces from this year became a must-have for numismatists. Coins from first issues often carry historical importance because they set the tone for the entire series. In examining this coin also became part of a broader narrative of how nations use currency to shape collective memory. Just as earlier generations of coins bore images of Aguinaldo, Rizal, or Mabini, the 2016 5 Piso reinforced the importance of honoring those who fought not with diplomacy but with courage on the battlefield. When we talk about history, we cannot ignore the fact that coins like the 2016 5 Piso are witnesses to everyday life. They pass from hand to hand in markets, jeepneys, and sari-sari stores, connecting people across provinces and generations. Each coin carries stories of daily survival, small joys, and the constant circulation of a nation's heartbeat. Economically, the issuance of the 2016 5 Piso also helped the BSP combat counterfeiting and hoarding. By redesigning coins with new materials and features, the government ensured that money remained both functional and secure. For coin enthusiasts, 2016 marked the beginning of a collecting journey that is still ongoing. Some even began hoarding these coins, anticipating that in years to come, the first release of the series would grow more valuable, especially in uncirculated condition. Interestingly, the public reaction to the coin also reflected cultural dynamics. Some citizens debated whether Bonifacio should be on paper money instead of coins, considering his stature as a revolutionary hero. Others argued that placing him on the 5 Piso, a denomination widely used by ordinary people, was fitting since Bonifacio himself was a man of the masses. The 2016 5 Piso also reminds us of the power of coins as teaching tools. Young students learning history could see Bonifacio's image daily and connect it to classroom lessons about the Katipunan, the 1896 revolution, and the dream of independence. From a numismatic perspective, the coin holds significance not just for its design but for being part of a larger monetary shift. Future generations will look back at the 2016 coin as the first of its kind, the forerunner of a new style in Philippine coinage. The nickel-plated steel composition also tells a story of practicality. The Philippines, like many nations, needed a cost-efficient way to produce coins while maintaining quality. The choice of materials reflects a balance between tradition and modernization. As time passes, these coins will gain more value in the collector's market. Already, some online sellers list them above face value, especially in mint condition. The first-year issue always carries an aura of rarity, And 2016's 5 Piso is no exception. But beyond monetary worth, this coin is a piece of memory. It captures 2016, a year of change, transition, and new beginnings for the nation. Coins outlive administrations, reminding us that while leaders come and go, national symbols remain. Imagine holding one decades from now. It would not just be a 5 Piso coin. It would be a time capsule, taking us back to the moment when the Philippines reshaped its currency. And on coin, particularly interesting, is that it represents the tail end of the aguinaldo design before BSP made further changes to the 5 Piso. This transitional role increases its collectible appeal. Another fascinating point is how the coin reflects national identity. Every time someone holds the 2014 5 Piso, they are reminded of Aguinaldo's leadership and the struggle for independence. This transforms the coin into both a tool for trade and a cultural symbol. International collectors often seek out the 2014 issue because it is a distinct part of the new generation currency coin series. Coins tied to heroes of independence are always in demand, especially from nations with strong revolutionary histories. Errors and minting anomalies also make the 2014 5 Piso highly desirable in the collector's market. Off-center strikes, double dies, or unusual plating differences can turn an ordinary coin into a rare treasure, worth many times its face value. The year 2014 also marked the continued expansion of online marketplaces like eBay in the Philippines. Collectors began listing 5 Piso coins and international buyers showed interest. This broadened the reach of the coin beyond Philippine borders. Many Filipinos also began holding onto their 2014 5 Piso coins, sensing that they would become harder to find once the design changed. As time passes, surviving examples in excellent condition will only increase in value. From a numismatic perspective, the 5 Piso 2014 holds a fascinating balance between modern minting technology and historical representation. It is a bridge between past and present, an object of daily utility and historical pride. Looking closer at Aguinaldo's portrait, one can see the fine engraving and detail. These artistic choices were meant not only for aesthetics, but also to prevent counterfeiting. As design complexity adds a layer of security. For younger Filipinos, the coin acts as a small history lesson. Even if they don't immediately recognize Aguinaldo, the coin inspires curiosity and encourages them to learn more about the nation's revolutionary past. Economically, coins like the 5 Piso 2014 represent stability. They are designed for decades of circulation, which means each coin becomes a silent witness to countless daily exchanges, journeys, and personal stories. The lifespan of a coin in circulation often extends for years. A 2014 5 Piso might still be found in wallets today, carrying with it nearly a decade of history. For collectors, that passage of time only adds to its charm. Another layer of fascination comes from the fact that coin collecting is often generational. A 2014 5 Piso might be saved by a parent and later passed to their child, creating not just monetary value but also sentimental significance. Coins world. Today we are going to explore the fascinating journey of the Philippine 5 Piso coin of 1997. At first glance, it may look like just another coin, but when you take a closer look at its history, its symbolism, and the time period it represents, you'll realize it carries a much deeper story. This coin is not just metal, it's a reflection of Philippine culture, economy, and national pride during the late 20th century. So, let's dive deep into its 30-part historical story that will make you see this coin in a whole new light. The Philippine 5 Piso coin of 1997 was introduced at a time of economic adjustments and national development. It belongs to the BSP Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas coin series that was introduced in the mid-1990s to modernize Philippine currency. This coin was notable because it replaced the earlier smaller versions of the 5 Piso note, which had been in circulation for decades. The shift from paper money to coins reflected the government's attempt to save production costs and create longer-lasting currency. The obverse side of the 1997 5 Piso coin proudly features the face of Emilio Aguinaldo, the first president of the Philippines. His image symbolizes the fight for independence and the establishment of the first Philippine Republic in 1899. Emilio Aguinaldo's inclusion was not just artistic. It carried a message of patriotism, reminding Filipinos of their struggle against colonial rule and their journey toward nationhood. Surrounding Aguinaldo's portrait is the inscription Republika ng Pilipinas, which emphasizes the sovereignty of the nation. This was particularly meaningful in the 1990s as the Philippines was redefining itself. In the post-Marcos era, the reverse side of the coin carries the seal of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, symbolizing authority, stability, and trust in the national monetary system. The 1997 coin was among the first to highlight the newly formed BSP seal. After its re-establishment in 1993, this 5 piso coin was minted in nickel brass, giving it durability and a golden appearance. The alloy choice was meant to extend the life of the coin, compared to earlier materials used in smaller denominations. The coin measures 27 millimeters in diameter, making it one of the larger Philippine coins of its time. Its size and distinct color made it easily recognizable in everyday transactions. During the late 1990s, inflation and economic adjustments were pressing issues. The 5 piso coin carried real purchasing power. It could buy snacks, transportation fares, or simple household items, making it a coin that circulated heavily in daily life. What's fascinating is how the 1997 5 piso also became part of Filipino culture. Children used it for arcade games, students for jeepney rides, and families for savings in coin banks. The 1997 issue is significant because it marked the steady decline of the 5